The Phoenix Rising pregame show is brought to you by Reese's Dental and Braces.
After bagging 6 points on the road, Phoenix Rising FC return home to Casino Arizona Field, and they will put the longest winning streak in American soccer history to the test once again against a side that they met all the way back on March 9th in Darren Powell and San Antonio FC right here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Pregame presented, as always, by our friends over at Reese's Dental. Tyler Terrence along with the ex-German pro Devin Kerr. Thank you so much for tuning in on what has been a monstrous schedule on a Saturday in the USL Championship in week number 27. And we'll take a look at the standings right now in the Western Conference. And for those of you who don't know, Phoenix Rising FC, the fastest team to ever clinch a playoff berth in a USL Championship season. Basically, at this point, everybody's chasing 2 through 10.
Chasing ghosts. They're trying to set more and more records. They are within reach of the 23-game unbeaten streak by FC Cincinnati set in 2018. But they want to find a way to continue on this evolution that is their brilliant play, and we've seen. And Rick Schantz telling us that they've gotten to the point they never want to lose another game again. How could you when you're playing this magnificently?
And it really has been amazing how far Phoenix has come, because if you think back to the first game of the season, which of course was against San Antonio UFC, these were the days where they were bleeding goals, they were chasing their tails, and they were just searching for late equalizers. They have just come extremely far, not only as individuals, but as a group.
People were worried. All of the talking points were, what is Phoenix Rising going to look like? Is that beautiful run of form we saw last year over with? They started the season 1-0-4. Was it pretty? No, but they remained relevant, and now they're back on top.
And the numbers don't lie amongst this streak. I mean, Jose Bosch, the communications guy for Phoenix Rising Football Club, has had to keep us on our toes because it seems like they're breaking a record basically every single week. Longest streak in the history of American professional soccer, regardless of division. An obscene goal differential, 56-14, 12 different goal scorers along the way, and of course leading the league in goals, assists. But most impressive to me is the clean sheets in a Western Conference that is deemed to be lacking on the defensive side of the ball.
And in order to maintain that, Tyler, they're going to have to stop an impressive young talent in the middle of the field for San Antonio FC, Christian Pirano, and he can hurt you in a multitude of ways, so let's break that down. First and foremost, his agility. Quick little ball outside, and notice the patience. He realizes that a run is most likely going to develop down into the channel, then he cuts it quick back across the body of Justin Schmidt. That's Josh Suggs that gets turned around as well. Bottom corner, thanks for coming. Let's give it a different look. Now he's got space out in front of him, the ability to really run at a back line. Notice Justin Schmidt in the middle again. They allow the run to develop on the far side. Yeah, it gets a little bit of luck. Ball out in front of him, but still has to account for the tracking runner. Puts it down in. That'll be the second one. This one, of course, in terms of distribution. My favorite, though, is his ability to make people second guess. When he gives you so many different looks, you don't know where your responsibility lies. One-on-one with one of the best outside backs in the All of USL Championship at Josh Suggs. Cuts inside, another overlapping run. 3 goals on the night, dismantled New Mexico United.
Well, Phoenix are going to have their hands full, but every test that they've had along this streak, they passed with flying colors. It's Phoenix Rising FC and San Antonio when we come back.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Welcome back to Casino Arizona Field. Tonight's broadcast presented by Equality Health. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. Let's take a look at the starting 11, starting with the home side of Rick Schott's. One change, and it's going to be Joey Calistri inserted into that left wing position as Junior Flemings is away with the Reggae Boys, who came away with an emphatic wing earlier over Antigua and Barbuda in CONCACAF Nations League. Everything else will stay the same from their game against the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Meanwhile, for San Antonio FC, one change as well. Christian Pirano inserted into that sort of makeshift 10 role, and he is going to take the place of Billy Forbes, who was let go by the team earlier this week. That is all we know at this point, as we are almost set for kickoff here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Devin, I ask you this question. These two teams met back on March 9th. What can we expect from this meeting?
It's going to be totally different than what you saw in the opening game. Both managers will tell you that as well. And when you see the way that they start to line up, the shape that they've taken, the discipline that has been acquired by both the clubs over the course of this 2019 campaign, it will be starkly different. Do not be surprised if this thing opens up fast and you see high-flying offenses down in the channels.
Rezonda Mendoza gets us underway from Casino Arizona Field. We hope you are going to buckle in for what should be an electric 90 minutes in the USL Championships Western Conference. The longest winning streak in the history of American soccer put to the test once again, but this time Phoenix back on their home turf. Again, I'm Tyler Terrence, sitting 2.5 centimeters to my right is none other than Devin Kerr. Phoenix coming off of a more than convincing win against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, scoring 3 goals in the first half hour of play over a Widener, and would cruise to their 17th straight win. Meanwhile, for San Antonio FC, they were unable to follow up their 5-0 win over New Mexico United with any sort of solid performance. They fell to the hands of Tacoma Defiance by a score of 5-1. Their last 4 games, the only word to describe it, baffling. A 4-1 win at Reno, a 2-2 draw at home against RGV, 5-0 at home against New Mexico United, and then a 5-1 loss against Tacoma, as that header will go wide, and a goal kick coming for Zach Lubin. I mean, Devin, this is a side that missed out on the postseason a year ago. Had it been 2019, they would have gotten in as one of the play-in teams. But for your money, for San Antonio FC, why has it been so wildly inconsistent from a consistent standpoint, if you're still following?
There's a combination of things that go into that. And number one of the most important players for this team, Pekka, injured early on, and they couldn't find a way to get him healthy. And when you struggle in the middle of the field, that affects everything else around you. Also, what was their philosophy going to be? Darren Powell likes to put the ball down on the deck and play a little bit, but it's really difficult to do when you don't know what your formation is going to look like and you're lining up. So you're constantly challenging your players into which direction this is going to head. They finally found that form of what this is going to look like going forward 6 or 7 games ago. They've stuck to it, and outside of that Tacoma Defiance result, they've actually looked pretty decent. Lastly, it's the injuries overall, not just to Pekka, but to other impactful players like Lance Lang, like Christian Pirano, who was out last game. They had him on the bench, but it's been really difficult just to get a regular 11 on the field. Again, it's been more frequent recently, but it still is not a finished product.
And we'll take a look at our Mayo Clinic injury report, and it's really nice to not see Jason Johnson's name up there because he is actually in the 18 available for selection tonight. Alessandro Rigi still working his way back, and of course Brandon Keniston is working his way back as well. Lance Lang, who has only played about 7 games this season, still unavailable, but he was in training last time that we were able to talk to Darren Powell. And of course the one under injury to Michael Roche. As John Baccaro trying to get on the better side of Brian Gomez, gets it right back from Solomon Asante. Sort of a accidental little 1-2 there. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at our our Alsco uniform report for Phoenix Rising in the red and blacks, San Antonio FC in their all whites on the road. Amadou Dia pushes it out wide for Calistri, trying to find Jose Aguinaga. And Rezondo Mendoza is going to blow his whistle there. Devin Kerr, you were making a motion like you thought that was a clean challenge. Jose Aguinaga, I'm sure, is going to have a different story to tell. And Pekka's trying to make his case to our head referee.
It's always difficult at high speed when you get an initial look at it as to whether or not you agree. Pekka having a conversation with Aguinaga. He's disagreeing. When you track outside a Monday morning quarterback and switch things back around. Again, the quick little touch by Aguinaga. Pekka saying that he got the ball. Referee does not agree. And early on, pretty good opportunity from a set piece to give Phoenix Rising a bit of momentum going forward.
Aguinaga was still making a case to the referee that he wanted a card. Meanwhile, Pekka was just upset the fact that the whistle was blown. But either way, John Baquero stepping over what could potentially be a precarious situation for San Antonio and an advantageous one for Phoenix, as we haven't even played 5 minutes yet. Baquero clips one in. It's not a bad ball. Pass into Brian Gomez, only to the feet of Amadou Dia, and Calistri will settle things down for Phoenix. And the best play on a new forward is at Sanderson Ford. Shop Arizona's largest selection of new Fords with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense. Sanderson Ford is America's most awarded Ford dealership for customer service. Shop Sanderson Ford. Ball intended for Ledbetter. Gomez gets a touch to it as Ledbetter was trying to go through his legs. Good movement here from San Antonio. Gomez working on Aguinaga, and the foul's going to be called, and already our official is making it known that he's not going to tolerate it too much on the physical standpoint. Wheeling out to defend, and he's getting called for the foul. And I'll tell you what, 3 whistles that all could be deemed controversial and probably could be deemed clean plays, depending on the referee.
It's smart by Jack Barmby, and on the same page as you, that this isn't a boatload in this foul for me, but Jack Barmby recognizes there's a little touch on the back and just leans into it. And when the referee is obstructed a bit in his angle, he's gonna side with the attacker the entire way. And we talked about how dangerous Baquero is. How about Jack Barmby and his left foot?
Ball was anything but 10 yards. Looked more about 4 or 5. Nice footwork here. The shot put on frame, and Zach Lubin able to smother it, as Frank Lopez was rushing onto the scene, hoping that he might be able to pick up a cheap one. San Antonio 9-10-7 on the season, just a +5 goal differential. 40 goals allowed, which is for about 16th best in the USL Championship, or worse depending on how you're looking at it, and 45 goals for. Phoenix, meanwhile, with a better goal differential than some teams have points across the league. We'll leave it at that. Dia looking for the big diagonal ball. How much is Junior Fleming's out of the lineup going to impact Phoenix Rising tonight?
And to be honest, the way that things shape up in the formation style for San Antonio FC, not a massive amount, but it all depends on how they play that out. And I talked to you about this off air, what this looks like. 2 very different impressions you get based upon the personnel for Darren Powell. Number 1, if you have Michael Lahoud in the middle, they actually will drop into a back 4. Lahoud will go to right back, but with Moises Hernandez in the middle, it's very much a flat 3. So there's still going to be a load of space out there. Initially, what we're seeing opening 8 minutes, that's exactly how it's playing out. So as long as they can put it out in front of a Calistri with pace, you're good.
Here's Lopez, still going at goal, and Zach Lubin forced to make a big save. Lopez made easy work of AJ Cochran. And Lubin bailing out the center back, but Frank Lopez running riot on the Phoenix back line.
What Joey Calistri does with it is a whole nother story on the backside of things. About the center of the park. It's not often that you see your center backs from Phoenix Rising get turned around in this manner. One of the more dynamic players in the USL Championship, Frank Lopez, on loan from Los Dos, and what a player he has been since coming over to Darren Powell.
Corner sent in. Lubin's going to stay home. Kai Green was trying to get a clever flick to it, but it'll run all the way out of play. right in front of the Red Fury in the south end here at Casino Arizona Field, which always produces one of the best atmospheres in the league. There is Mr. Car Wash. 12 clean sheets this season, tying Carl Wazinski's club record from a year ago. Looking to make it an unlucky 13 tonight. And Adam John commits the foul. And I can understand the referee wanting to set a precedent at the beginning of a game, especially when it's two very solid teams and teams that can get physical with one another. But these aren't two sides that exactly have a long, illustrious history of getting into dogfights and street fights, what have you. And it just seems like it's sort of broken up the rhythm of the game early on.
Now you just wonder if that's going to continue forward. For the referee in general, how, for both squads, to be honest, the rhythm back and forth really doesn't fit either one of them very well. They like to play. Very tactful in their actions. But Darren Powell and Rick Shantz, how's these guys organized? It's really done well over the past few weeks. Darren Powell's side has. Again, outside of that Tacoma Defiance loss recently.
And they have Jack Barnby on top of the set piece again. Appearances and 7 goals for T2 in 2 seasons. And of course was part of that T2 side that fell to Phoenix Rising in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs a year ago, just a week after beating them right here at Casino Arizona Field in the regular season finale. As this free kick is not a bad one again, but nobody from San Antonio was making the proper run. And Aginaga will now shield off Josh Yarrow, and he'll go out for a Phoenix throw-in. And the message always continues to be with Phoenix, or if you're going up against Phoenix, if you're on the former side of that, get a goal early and open up the other team. If you're on the other side of the coin, can't concede early because it turns into an absolute bloodbath and it just opens up the games in ways that you don't even want to imagine.
One of the areas when you're challenging Phoenix Rising that the eyes initially turn to is the right side of the field for Solomon Asante. That's not a disrespectful comment. He just plays so high that there's space in behind him. So a lot of times you get into one-on-one situations, no matter who the right back is, whether it's Austin Ledbetter or Dambuya on the right side. So when it's 2v1, 3v1, you think that someone's not doing their job. That's not the case. But if you over-impact yourself on the right side and push past Asante, he sits in behind you. If you sit too deep, he applies more pressure. So it's easy to go, let's go after the right side because there's so much room behind him. That's not the easy question, though.
Kevin Lambert, a rather awkward clearance, and will stay with San Antonio. The press has been led by Frank Lopez, who's been doing a really good job in the opening 11.5 minutes or so, but that one straight back to Zach Lubin. Corey Whelan, who's making his Casino Arizona Field debut. Made his first appearance for Phoenix at Widener against Colorado Springs Switchbacks, and some higher ups at Phoenix thought he was probably one of the more composed players on the field as John Baquero goes out wide for Solomon Asante. Here comes the overlapping run. Austin Ledbetter, positive first touch, now puts one across. And Joey Calistri, or rather Adam John, was hoping that it was going to get all the way through. Lambert, a cool touchback for Asante, and he gives it right back to the Jamaican. Mustafa Dambuya also a notable absence on international duty with Sierra Leone. Well, he flew under the radar for the first 15 to 20 weeks or so. He's not a secret anymore, especially after his performance in that 4-2 win over Reno. And a foul called against Phoenix. That one certainly warranted. Joey Calistri, who has also put his stamp along the way on this winning streak. Had the game winner against Los Dos in what probably looked like one of the more bleak games for Phoenix along this run. And that combined with the Tacoma performance, or even T2 for that matter, all games in which you just thought to yourself, there's no way they can win again. like every player for Phoenix on the roster at some point has had a hand or has had their big marquee moment. Aginaga sticks a foot in there. Comes Adam John with the press on the San Antonio FC back three. Yarrow forced to go long.
This area right here, how much patience will San Antonio FC? That gray area, 30, 35 yards from goal where they're hovering just outside the center circle. How much press is going to be applied? The more you expose yourself pushing numbers forward, the more space to play in behind. That's where Phoenix is at its best. It's difficult to do, but if they can sit and remain disciplined, that's where they will have their best opportunity to sit and then counter going the other way, much like this.
Lopez still weaving his way through. A lot of contact, nothing for the referee though. He got sandwiched in between about three different Phoenix players. John Baquero takes a really light challenge coming in from Pekka. And Phoenix will go quickly. Solomon Asante leading the charge. John, good step from Josh Yarrow. John still working hard to try to win the ball back. That's where Phoenix can get caught. Their outside backs really commit forward and it leaves their center backs exposed, and they do have a plethora at their disposal. But if you do get a good ball carrier like a Frank Lopez and like some of the other terrific strikers in the Western Conference, it can be problematic for Phoenix, but obviously have been up to the task along this 17-game winning streak, as Ledbetter will just take the easy way out there. And a throw in for San Antonio, who you can make the argument have very much been on the front foot for the first 15 and a half minutes or so. Barnby in for Pirano. Giving away just a few inches to Kevon Lambert, and now Pirano along the byline trying to thread it across. Aginaga forced to get rid of it, and Ledbetter trying to go back for Aginaga. And a corner kick coming up for San Antonio. And Phoenix has certainly looked out of sorts in the opening stages of this one.
I respect the idea by Phoenix Rising to try and play out of the back, but at the same point in time, sometimes it's better to just pick your head up and knock it down the field and push your line a bit higher. That would have suited them better in this situation. Jack Barnby's been on both set pieces early on. They've gone low near post and high far post. I think Phoenix guessing they'll switch it up now and turn to the likes of Walter Restrepo with the in-swinger.
Cleared away by Whelan. And here's Joey Calistri on the other end, and all sorts of space to gallop into. Not a lot of support though. Wisely puts the brakes on. Baquero. San Antonio, a good job getting back behind the ball. Back for Calistri, who started the counterattack. Diep. Tried to cut it back. It wasn't a bad idea, but the pass wasn't exactly executed all that well. Pekka really well done. Awkward deflection. Baquero. Diep. First time delivery. Almost fell to Asante. Lambert, a heavy touch. Asante will be able to get there, puts the shot on frame. And the first save of the night for Matt Cardoni, and the first real chance for the home side.
Same issue on the other end for Phoenix Rising, plaguing San Antonio FC, where they just need to clear this ball out and push the numbers much higher. So much pressure will be applied by the front three from Phoenix Rising, and that allows Baquero and Aginaga to get involved as well. It's just wave after wave of attack coming on the defensive unit for Rising.
Phoenix Rising is pleased to have players of Phoenix Rising FC Youth Soccer North Valley as tonight's First Watch ball kids. Be sure to visit www.firstwatch.com to find your neighborhood First Watch, the Daytime Cafe. Here's Moises Hernandez, the 27-year-old on loan from FC Dallas. And we're trying to find a streaking Walter Restrepo. Rosendo Mendoza telling Phoenix that they need to back up the train a little bit when they're taking the throw. Adam John flicks it along. He thought that should have been a high foot on Kai Green, who came dangerously close to putting himself in that sort of predicament. Cardone will clear it away. Devin, all these questions are starting to arise about Phoenix Rising streak. Should they lose? Can they win these remaining 7 or 8 games? Is it in their best interest? But for me, this is a team that's obviously defied all logic and defied statistics as we come to know it in sports, and specifically football. So the answer has to be, why not? Asante. That delivery always going out of play.
You can take what the overall package product has looked like for Phoenix Rising, and they hit a stretch where they were really trying to find a way to get 3 points. It wasn't beautiful performances, and outside of the Colorado Springs game, Rick Sean's told us that you had to go all the way back to the Austin Bold match, where it's basically a complete professional performance. The problem for everybody else is when you sit down and look at tape, they pass the eye test every single time. You can look at teams that have given them a run for their money, but it's glimpses of 10, 15-minute windows where they're at their best. Even when Phoenix is bad, it's still not bad compared to the product that everybody else is putting out.
Vaquero will put one in. AJ Cochran was getting double teamed there. Kai Green was fighting with him for position. And another corner coming up for Phoenix. Brought to you by our friends over at Carvana.
When you flip the script and have that conversation with Darren Powell, it basically boils down to the point of, we're not going to change what we're doing. We know what we're good at. We just have to win our individual battles and hope for the best down the stretch. That's all they can really do here, because you are in a hostile environment against a team that basically, it's lady luck, it's momentum, it's records, everything going in their direction. At some point in time, this bubble will burst. San Antonio FC hopes that this night is it.
Now Dia will send it in near post, doesn't get past the first defender. Dia will bring it down, the Frenchman. Has it blocked again by Pekka. Rare miscue there from Vaquero, but it ends up working out and falls for Ledbetter. Here is the former Liverpool U23 man, Corey Whelan, getting it over for Cochran. Aguinaga. John was hoping that Kalishi was going to make that run, and Cardone comes scampering off of his line. 26-year-old, originally from San Antonio, has never left the state of Texas, or really the greater San Antonio area, for football, college, professionally, you name it. Attended Trinity University, powerhouse in Division III. And of course was picked up by San Antonio FC. He had a trial in 2015 with Orange County, but signed by San Antonio as Frank Lopez again driving forward. Still with the ball at his feet, clips one in. Barbie on the first time, and it's off the post. What a magnificent strike. Still with Christian Pirano now. He lofts one in. Austin Ledbetter gets it away, but only as far as Barbie. Now a long-range effort from Gomez, and Lubin able to make the save. Zach Lubin, a busy man. And Jack Barbie was that far away from scoring what would have been one of the goals of the season.
Both Pirano and Barmby kind of have the opportunity to roam where they want, and well done to have the understanding that the trailing run's going to be at the top of the 18. This is really similar to an impressive goal that was put out against RGV in their draw. And then to carry enough numbers up front, it's not just the first attack, it's second and third. Very similar to what you see out of Rising.
They go short with the corner. Adam John able to clear it away before they concede another one. But my goodness, San Antonio have certainly had the lion's share of true quality chances, as we are about halfway through the first 45 minutes. Still no score between Phoenix and San Antonio. And Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr Big 3 points up for grabs, particularly on the side of San Antonio, who are sitting beneath the playoff cutoff line at the moment. But as we all know in the West, one win and you can be in more or less 5th place as Diaz sends it across, hoping for Asante. Shouts for a handball. Mendoza was looking at it, not going to blow his whistle. Adam John still putting the pressure on. Solomon Asante, both hands up in the air, screaming at our official. And it certainly looked like, for all in the world, that Josh Yarrow had gotten a hand to that. Meanwhile, Christian Pirano on the other end. A.J. Cochran sticks in a foot and able to break up that counterattack. Boy, that looked mighty close from Josh Yarrow. Obviously, it was an accident, but he was on his hands and knees and might have just gotten a paw to the ball. Army goes back for Yarrow, and he'll just clear it away. San Antonio still under a little bit of pressure here. Part of it was Moises Hernandez, who was the player in question for San Antonio. Ledbetter.
See if we can get another look at this wannabe handball in the middle of the box. Amadou Dia, as we've seen so many times before. I'll tell you what, this is really difficult decision for the referee, especially when the momentum's carrying the defender forward and he's going to put his arm down to brace himself. It does come off. And this is where you hit that gray area of what the interpretation is going to be. You know what the law says, but it's up to the head referee to make the appropriate decision. He felt like he got this one right. I promise you, everybody at Casino Arizona Field felt the other way. The bigger things you have to remember also is that the ball is inside the box. The way it was moving was away from the attackers in red jerseys.
Ledbetter quickly back in for Baquero. Waited a bit too long. Now look at all the space for Walter Restrepo. Cora Whelan still backpedaling. Restrepo, darting run being made. That's the wrong decision in the end, and a fortunate deflection for Phoenix. Lambert, crisp pass in for Baquero. Asante. Shifty little move. Asante lofts one in, the header. Always going to be difficult from about 18.5 yards out.
The way these things set up for both of these squads. Told you there was going to be a lot of pace out on the sides. So they're starting to open up much more, and how impressive have Frank Lopez, Restrepo, and Gomez been up top. You're not going to see a lot of one-on-ones down there by Christian Pirano. His job in the middle with Jack Barmby is what Darren Powell wants. He wants to basically play two holding midfielders, two attackers, see if they can sit deep, make sure that they isolate the middle of the field, and they're willing, not necessarily to say take their chances out on the wings, but they feel if they can compress the middle, not allow Aguinaga and Baquero to get on the ball, they have a fighting chance. That's what you've seen so far.
Cardone might have been a mistake there. Solomon Asante was really quick to it. We saw Diego Restrepo last year make an awful mistake in the same exact fashion, but it was Solomon Asante who took it away and then finished what was a gaping net. That was a game of the week last year, if I'm not mistaken, before it was Wednesday Night Soccer.
Unfortunately for Restrepo, some of those issues have followed him to Austin. Has not been the greatest season for him so far, though the team still there. Last home playoff spot, at least for now.
It really is amazing. But who knows what the West is going to look like come the second week of October.
Come a couple hours from now.
Yeah. Josh Yarrow in a little bit of hot water, forced to go back to Cardone. You can start to see Phoenix are moving that line of confrontation further and further up the field, and it's giving San Antonio more and more problems. Abia Khan able to get around Asante rather easily. Lopez has been brilliant tonight. Just pokes it out wide.
I get it.
You always do.
The bigger issue that is going to take precedent here for San Antonio FC is as Phoenix continues to basically counterpunch some of the tactics being thrown at them. Pirano starting to play higher, trying to push this into 4. They're just gambling a little bit. And as they push their line higher and start to put the ball and play quicker, now defensively San Antonio has to react. Now at some point in time, something's going to have to give. Who's going to be more impressive when push comes to shove? And right now you're just at a stalemate.
Thanks to our friends at Jackson's Car Wash. You get a free car wash with every Phoenix Rising ticket. Visit phxrisingfc.com/Jacksons for more information. Kai Green forced to get rid of it. Jersey native who spent a couple of years with RGV over in Edinburgh, Texas. Naga slides it along for Lambert. Asante readjusts his position. Good movement here from Phoenix, best we've seen tonight. Calistri dinks it up. Header from Kai Green, awkward for Cardoni. Asante in front, and it's blocked away, and it looks like the whistle was blown. Indeed it was. And that is the right call as Cardoni had his hands full with Adam John.
It's smart by Amadou Dia to go the vertical route. You just have to wonder, why doesn't the run develop sooner? Joey Calistri was waiting for it to come, and then challenge on the back post. That's a 50-50 for me. Adam John pretty much goes straight up in the air. Cardoni is more impeding the attacker than he is.
You would have to do something heinous, though, to get a call against the keeper in that sort of situation, though.
It's just so frustrating, and I understand you want to protect the goalkeeper, but for Adam John, if I'm standing there, I have every right to the ball as much as the goalkeeper does. So if I'm standing there and I go straight up in the air, I don't have the luxury of my hands. The only thing I have is my ability to jump and try and go win a ball in a 50-50, and you're still going to go against me.
It looked like he used a bit more hands in real time, but I mean, the replay, it was pretty clear that he just went straight up as Dia lines up the header and able to find Cochran, who just muscles it away.
Mind you, I say that now. When I was on the field, I was screaming at Adam John, telling him to get away from my goalkeeper. Yeah.
Gomez, not a bad ball in. Ledbetter brings it down. Lubin clears it away. Off the right side of Ledbetter. I don't think they practiced that one in training this week, but it certainly came off like it did. Lambert, a late challenge there. San Antonio barking for a card, but that's more or less Lambert's first transgression of the evening. And he should be safe here. And just a talking to. The warning before the warning.
Kevin Lambert has a tendency at times to just overstep his boundaries a bit, and that's some of the progression as a young pro, where you have to find a way to just hold serve. Don't necessarily dive in. Keep the play in front of you. Those missteps here and there really prohibit him from taking that next step in his personal gain.
He's got something to prove, being left out of the Jamaican national team as they continue to move through League B in CONCACAF Nations League, first ever international window, and of course got minimal playing time at the Gold Cup when I think everybody expected him to be a star in that tournament. Lost out to playing time to a 36-year-old Javon Watson. Nothing against him, but Lambert obviously a bit more mobile in the middle of the field. And the corner kick coming up for San Antonio, 34th minute.
A little bit of gamesmanship from John McCarrow down in the corner in front of
What'd I do?
Walter Restrepo. I really like what San Antonio has done so far. Phoenix do this as well on their set pieces where they change things up. They'll give you that long look to the back post. They play two men down in the corner. You just wonder this time around, what is it going to look like?
All the way towards the back post, won by Amadou Dia. Dia wanted Lubin to come off of his line, but the ball wasn't traveling all that fast. And it goes right back for San Antonio. Pirano gets tripped up, and a free kick coming up for San Antonio in some prime real estate.
More frustration here from Phoenix Rising as the referee wants to come over and play the big man on campus. I understand that. Now is the time that you get Solomon Asante involved as your captain. You bring him over, start to settle things down. With all the choppiness going back and forth, you don't want to let these opportunities from San Antonio FC get the best of you. Just keep your mind focused, have a conversation, figure out where your marks are. A team that is deadly from set piece opportunities.
There's a new hero in town, and she's Gotham City's only hope. Batwoman premieres on your Phoenix CW Sundays this fall.
Barmy's got the range from here if he wants to hit it.
He can absolutely hit it. He will try to put it on frame. It takes a deflection. Another corner kick coming up for San Antonio. A lot of defending over the course of these opening 36 minutes for Phoenix. Something they are not accustomed to, especially at home. Another in-swinger. Lubin stays home. Kai Green nods it back. And easy enough for Lubin in the end. He wants to go quickly. How are you offsides on that?
Especially when Pekka has dropped about 15 yards behind Moises Hernandez. Interesting that those are the two that were deepest. But coming off of the quick set piece, they're trying to utilize the height. Kai Green, Ebi Akan.
This is a good ball in for Barmby. Wheelan defending. It's an all-England battle. Gomez in for Pirano, who takes it on the first time. That one needed to be something really special from the youngster. And it is surprising, as good as San Antonio have been, we have not seen, by any stretch of the imagination, the best of Christian Pirano yet.
It's the isolation in the middle of the field that Kevin Lambert has been kind of occupied with, to be honest, where he's not necessarily having a lot of opportunity to push forward. That's because Pirano is pushing such a high line. So the back four already has to account for the runners in Restrepo, Lopez, and Gomez, and now Pirano pushing through. Lambert has to be disciplined and drop back to help out.
Lambert. Asante, a clever touch. He's looking for the foul, and nothing's going to be given. Ledbetter, a strong header. Lambert being challenged by Barmby in that department, and Barmby actually comes away a victor. Vaquero gets stuck in, gets it back from Aguinaga. Good movement here from Phoenix. John over for Calistri. Aguinaga trying to put it on frame, and it's Pirano who comes away with it. And now a chance to counter for the visitors. Methodical approach here. Gomez looking to run it Ledbetter. Pirano took a deflection, and another corner coming up for San Antonio. See, and that's the issue with the precedent that the referee set at the beginning of the game, because if you're going to call those ticky-tack fouls, you have to remain consistent.
Especially when there's the little touch on Jack Barmy and he goes to the ground. Solomon Asante, the tug on his arm, you got to call it both ways, and I'm with you on that one. And if you've done it for the better part of 30 minutes, why all the change? Just in a sudden moment like that.
And I understand every referee has his own approach to the game, but if you're going to set the precedent that the leashes are going to be that short on the players from the get-go, it's a really difficult pattern to follow for the rest of the game. That's why in the first few minutes or so, obviously you don't want to let things get out of control, but at least let the game unfold naturally rather than blowing the whistle every 3 or 4 seconds.
A lot of times it actually goes the opposite direction, where you can hold serve for 15, 20, 25 minutes. Then emotions start to run rampant, nasty tackles start to fly in. The frustration by the players against the referee's decision actually boil over onto each other.
And John Baccaro receiving the proper medical attention here. Phoenix obviously will hope that he'll be able to continue and that no substitution will be needed right before halftime or during halftime. Another Carvana corner kick. Delivery has not been great on these for Darren Powell's group. This one a little bit different as Kai Green was trying to rise above the pack.
It's twice now for Rising, especially on that one right there. With these dead ball situations where the back post run, very much zonal marking. Amadou Dia allowing Kai Green to carry his momentum going forward. Kai Green primarily being deployed on the defensive front of the back three. With his jumping ability, that's one of the last people on the pitch tonight that I'd like to give a shot at.
Asante has it taken away. It has not been his best first half. But he takes this one away quickly. Asante goes for the curler, and he got it all wrong. Adam John probably wanted the ball at his feet. Joey Kalisha can make the same argument, but how can you argue with Solomon Asante trying to put one on frame from 18 yards away?
Never an issue with him taking this on his own. The problem is he second-guessed himself in his own mind, where he takes a look up. He knows the run from Adam John is there after the press, and Kalistri on the far post. And the quick little look, when he brings his back across his body, he is 100% trying to go with his instep, just gets too much of his laces on it.
And those are the types of mistakes that teams find themselves in a world of hurt, typically with Phoenix. But tonight it's looked a little bit different because they have not been on the ball an incredible amount. They have not kept it the way that we're used to seeing over this wild 17-game winning streak. They have looked a little bit rushed in scenarios. This one in the path of Lopez. He's been electric tonight, running at Wheelan. Lopez trying to put it on frame, but good defending from the Liverpool U23 man. And Kalisha comes away with it. Over for Asante. John Baccaro could be done for the night. He is walking. And he might go down. Yeah, Baccaro just gave the I'm done for the night look over to Rick Shantz. Now the question is who? Has to be James Musa.
They're going to lose a real offensive threat in John Baccaro. Rick Shantz electing for a really strong lineup tonight. Not that any other night has changed. Baccaro goes down. You can slide James Musa in. Just push Kevin Lambert a bit forward. You can let him become that swing piece. Really like what Kevin Lambert has been able to do against the likes of Carano and Barmby, not allowing them to push to the middle of the field. They've started to expose the wings a little bit, but that's not where his responsibility is lying at this point in time.
So it will be James Musa to come on. He's been sort of the platoon man in the middle of the field for Phoenix. He, Jose Aguinaga, Kevin Lambert, and John Baccaro all have sort of been rotating, keeping one another fresh, motivated, and competitive in training. But he's usually the one that remains consistent from an attacking standpoint. He's really stepped his game up defensively, but Aguinaga, Musa, Lambert, we all know what they're capable of defensively. And now the offensive onus is put on Jose Aguinaga as Asante goes down and gets taken down, and now San Antonio going the other way. Gomez leading the charge over for Lopez. Whelan defending and gets the better of him once again. Corey Whelan has been outstanding tonight in a couple of dire 1v1 situations. And this is a night where they're certainly going to need him. Gomez, clever feet, gets the cross away. Dia can bring it down. Miscommunication between Asante and Lambert. Shouts for offside. Here's Moises Hernandez getting to the back post. Barmy couldn't quite get it. Heavy touch from Asante. He's not looked himself tonight. Musa puts in his first challenge. It's a clean one right in front of the referee. Aguinaga out wide for Joey Calistri. Asante, clever move. Solomon Asante, and he'll just trickle wide.
His form when he's striking the ball is definitely off tonight. This is similar to what we saw early on in the season, where he's just coming across the ball a little bit, not trusting the process. Phoenix Rising, even though Vaquero has gone to ground, not letting that deter them going forward. Really well done in transition to expose this back three. That's where they get themselves into trouble. So when they start to throw numbers forward, the patience that you've seen out of San Antonio FC so far starting to trickle into Rising tactics moving forward. That clinical finishing just lacking in the final third.
4 minutes of stoppage time, and coming up at halftime, we're kicking it with your Phoenix CW. Chloe and Jay ramp up the competition with a pizza eating challenge, but can they beat the record? We'll find out at halftime. Pour from Cardoni. Asante 1v1 here. Solomon Asante tried to put it across, tried a second time, shouts for a handball. He's adamant about it. Nothing from the referee. A golden chance for Phoenix to snag one before the stroke of halftime. But again, goes by the wayside. Here's Musa, in for John, trying to turn. No call from the referee again. Giveaway there from Ledbetter. Here's Gomez on the other end. What was a chance for Phoenix moments ago? Chance here for San Antonio. Gomez got it all wrong. Matt Cardoni, not the first time tonight, giving one away to Solomon Asante, which is the last man not only on the field, but in the entire league you want to do this to.
This is a half volley down the field to try and push the movement going forward, and just have to wonder, why doesn't Asante pull the trigger a bit sooner, place this across the goal? Adam John is on the back post the entire time. The deflection coming off of Ebia Khan, you'll get a much better look. First one goes to ground. Second one, it's tucked in next to his body. That's hard for a PK shout. The heat of the moment from Solomon Asante, you can understand it. Ebia Khan does everything right to track back. Asante should have pulled the trigger sooner.
John throwing his weight around in the middle of the field and finally catches up with him. He is a bad man sometimes. Few strikers, not only in the USL Championship, but perhaps in world football, that will have a clean sheet clause built into their contracts. But when you see his work rate, and if there was a camera to just strictly follow Adam John throughout the course of a game, you would truly understand why that is, and you would say he probably deserves more money.
Probably run out of tape, digital or not.
You're dating yourself there, my man.
Look, those original Disney VHS tapes are really starting to pay off.
Yeah,
right. Making some money from my childhood days.
Lambert gets caught with it. and now that is a foul.
It is, and more importantly here, even if they're not calling this 50-50 in terms of the refereeing, they've been more aggressive towards Phoenix. You have to know that at this point in time. Lambert can't overstretch his arm, whether it's a foul or not. This one most definitively is, because now you've given San Antonio another opportunity in extra time just before you go into the dressing room to grab some momentum. Watch the arm here as he pushes it out, and there's the tug. 100% the referee has to call a foul.
But I think what Phoenix fans are probably going to be upset about is almost an identical play with Solomon Asante about 10 minutes ago was not called in their favor.
Agreed. Writing's on the wall, though. You got to quit shooting yourself in the foot. You're giving the ball away unnecessarily, and you're letting the referee have his way with you.
Barmby curls it in. Lash back across, but nobody's ever going to get to that one. And that's going to do it for the first half. As it stands, Phoenix Rising FC's winning streak is going to come to a halt at 17. San Antonio putting up a valiant fight in the first half. Frank Lopez was a menace along the back line, but a couple of goose eggs at the end of the first half here at Casino Arizona Field. We'll step aside for halftime.
I'm Adam Waltz, and you're kicking it with your Phoenix CW. Sports fans, we know you love a good competition, so pull up a chair, and I hope you're hungry.
Hi, I'm Chloe Marr.
And I'm Jay Russell.
And today we are here back at Venezia's.
Sausage, pepperoni, and maybe some green peppers.
Okay. And we're here to attempt the infamous pizza challenge.
Jay, how did we do?
We didn't do that great. We still got 4 slices left, and I didn't finish this.
We set no records, we didn't even finish, but we put in a great effort, and we can't wait to see you guys do it.
That's right, and let's go do some cardio after this, because we just packed on a few pounds.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 14 seconds. Would not want to be part of the cleanup.
Pizza lovers, do you know where they've been serving up pizza the longest? Italy, of course. There's a pizza joint in Naples that's been dishing out pizza pies since 1830.
When we come back, highlights from around the USL, more kicking it right after this.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
On top of the box, strikes it true, back of the net. Oh, what a finish, Bustamante.
The attempted an amazing goal. It may be a goal of the year candidate from Rodrigo da Costa.
And here we go again. Kadima! Oh, what a strike.
Has been in the 11. And there's an effort from distance with Irving off his line. And that's a goal for the highlight reel there.
Obert there. Plua. Shot goal! Plua with the bicycle! Conrad Plua! Dillon goes for goal. Oh, what a strike from Justin Dillon!
Now Gallardo for his brace tonight. Gallardo. A nutmeg of St. Phil. What an opportunity for Joe Gallardo. A brace. And it's 4 goals for the Richmond Kickers. Mikey Rowe now. Rowe takes it on and it's in. What a strike. And Tormenta. Very patient. Here's Bermudez now back on his left foot. A curler for the top corner. Oh, what a goal. Bermudez. Torre will shoot. Oh. He will score. Talbot Torre. Let's just say that you walked in. Oh, something on the first. Something's done it. Oh my goodness. Lubin, what a save. Outstanding individual effort. They stand together.
All right, awesome stuff from the USL Championship and League One. Phoenix and Vegas will do battle on Wednesday Night Soccer. But first, 45 minutes to settle here in the desert. And we'll take a look at some news and notes from around the USL Championship as it's 0-0 here in the Valley of the Sun between Phoenix and San Antonio FC. And Phoenix rising, looking for win number 18 in a row here tonight. 45 minutes away from the streak ending if the result is to hold. And of course, the playoff run is heating up, of course, in the Western Conference, but also towards the bottom of the table and mid-table to see who's going to shuffle where in the Eastern Conference as well. And then it'll be Phoenix and Vegas. And the last time that these two teams met, of course, it came off Phoenix's way, but the last time they met in Vegas was actually one of the final games of the 2018 campaign where Vegas gave Phoenix a little bit of a ride.
This is a sleeper game. Vegas is a drastically different team at Cashman than they are on the road. And I'll be real interested to see if they get a result tonight. They're currently 0-0 at halftime without Paso Locomotive. Cash drop, get to the chopper.
I don't know who those clowns were that called the cash drop last year, but I would never, ever want to hear them call a football match ever again. Let's take a look at the West standings right now. And these are live, folks. These aren't just entering today, whatever it might be, live. Phoenix Rising FC will get their point. They'll move to 63, and they'll move closer and closer to locking up the #1 seed in the Western Conference. And, of course, the Shield. San Antonio would be right on the cutoff line. But that's going to do it for this part of halftime. We'll keep moving along, folks, when we come back. Stats and highlights from the first half.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Let's give it up for our...
Hey Rising fans, we love it when you post to social media. Now when you do, make sure you're using the hashtag RisingOnCW. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We want to see your spirit. Hashtag RisingOnCW. You're watching Kicking It on your Phoenix CW. I'm Adam Waltz. The fans are loving it this season, and with good reason. Jay Russell caught up with a couple of season ticket holders on game night.
This is the best sport in the Valley.
Flemings again, onside. Could this be finally the one for Flemings? It is. 4 for Phoenix. Lights out.
2-year season ticket holders Ed Weber and Trevor Cates have waited a long time to see our Valley soccer team rise.
So I grew up loving soccer, have wanted to see it grow in the United States, and now I'm seeing it in my own hometown, so it's really cool.
Flemings still with it. Cuts inside. Good effort here. And Junior Flemings connects on yet another goal.
The Black and Red outscored opponents 20-2 in the month of June. With that kind of stretch, the atmosphere is fire hot.
The line to Booyah again. It's a first for Mustafa Dabuya.
The Red Fury and the Banditos going just crazy, and it's just a lively atmosphere.
It's really neat to be here. There's a lot of energy, a lot of great fans, a lot of crazy folks.
Especially when Ed's favorite player, Solomon Asante, is on the roll.
Junior Flemings peels it back. Asante!
He's got really nice, tight footwork, and he's got a great shot.
Solomon Asante once more from the spot. Different side, same result.
I just hope it keeps growing. Hope we get to the MLS one day.
You're watching Kicking It on your Phoenix CW. Stay right there. We're back with the second half right after this.
Mobile Mini is a lockdown defender. Have peace of mind using Mobile Mini, guarding all of your valuables on site, at home, or at your business. Mobile Mini storage containers are made of 100% steel and maximize your protection with our patented Tri-Cam locking system that is camera-proof, cut-proof, and drill-proof. Proud partner of Phoenix Rising FC.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
If you're looking for quality graphic design for your business, check out Design Pickle, the world's #1 flat-rate graphic design service. From social media ads and blog graphics to t-shirt designs and even car racks, the Design Pickle has helped thousands of businesses across the globe get quality design fast.
Just about ready for the second half here at Casino Arizona Field. Phoenix and San Antonio deadlocked at 0-0 after a very entertaining chess match in the first 45 minutes. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. Let's take a look at how it all went down. Devin, first half, you probably have to say advantage to San Antonio.
I said to you that when they got this ball out in front of them and really ran downhill, that's where they were at their best. And it didn't matter if it came from Frank Lopez, Walter Restrepo, Brian Gomez. Of course, the trailing run by Christian Perano towards the end of the first half, that's where they were going to have the most success. Lopez got involved early. We saw him a few times in that fashion. The best chances for Phoenix Rising actually came out of the likes of Solomon Asante. Interesting, though, the beginning of the year, his form wasn't the best. A lot of opportunities just not necessarily falling in his direction. He's taken off and been absolutely amazing over the course of the 17-match winning streak. But that got away from him. He was cutting across the ball, not like Jack Barmby, though. Watch his form. This ball has to come across his body. He then brings it back to the near post, off his laces, coming back across the ball. This is beautiful technique from the Englishman.
Barmby striking woodwork, and then there would actually be a secondary opportunity available for San Antonio as well. And that was it. Brian Gomez with a nice shot at the near post, but Lubin up to the task. He would have to make a couple of big saves. He was a busy man for stretches during this game, and Solomon Asante had his chances, but two big ones, Devin, came from mistakes from Matt Cardone.
And notice that it almost was that he had too much time to make a decision and wasn't exactly sure what he wanted to do. There was that one there. The other one where he's sitting in the middle of the field, brought it to the far post, had Calistri on his left, Adam John on his right, and couldn't be quick enough in the decision-making process. Phoenix Rising have to find a way to control the field much better. This is a team that prides themselves on being balanced, not only from front to back, but side to side. Right now, their average positioning on their attacking players, only 4 are over half field. They usually average around 7 or 8, so they have a much deeper line to play out of, and the only way that's going to get better is if they start to utilize the middle of the field more. You've got to play through Lambert, find Musa to get involved, and of course Aguinaga has now become the focal point in this offensive movement in the center park to get them going forward.
Phoenix Rising, of course, already having used one substitution due to injury to John Baquero. James Musa came on, and for the 3 or 4 minutes that he was on, looked good, but we'll see how that's going to change the outcome of this one. 0-0 as we start the second half between Phoenix and San Antonio. The 17-game winning streak, as it stands, is in jeopardy of coming to an end here on September 7th. Again, Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, thank you so much for tuning in. Phoenix looking to move closer and closer to locking up the #1 seed in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, for San Antonio, they're just trying to get above the playoff cutoff line. With a draw, they would be, depending on some other results. But the rest of the results in the Western Conference and even beyond that have been appalling today. Los Dos 3-0 over the Monarchs. Fresno 2-0 at Reno at the moment. Las Vegas and El Paso 0-0 after the cash drop. Kiesewetter missing a penalty. Phoenix and San Antonio 0-0. Sacramento taking care of business against Tacoma, something that San Antonio could not do last week. Goals from Thomasina Voltson and Cami Wassa. On ball ahead for Frank Lopez. He's going to hit it on the first time, but straight into the hands of Lubin. Lambert couldn't get a touch to it. Juan Pablo Cafa getting back into the mix for Fresno, converting on a penalty after Jaime Chavez scored in the 23rd minute. Cafa converting in the 35th. Battle of number 2 and 3 in the West. Cut back from Gomez. Good ball for Lopez. Whelan defending again. And Whelan has had Lopez's number when they've been in 1v1 situations. Lopez gets the shot away, but on the wrong side of the post.
He's not going to win that battle. Not the way that this match is shaping up. Corey Whelan understanding the quick movements coming out of the former Cuban youth national team player. Just a little rotation to his left, and he did that 2 or 3 times in the first half. Every single time, Corey Whelan just understood exactly where he was supposed to be. Perfect positioning, pushed him to the wayside. Brutal foul against Adam John. Josiaro called for it, and Rosendo Mendoza is going to slow things down and now allow Phoenix to play as Calistri going for the curler, and Cardoni with a cute little leap to get there. To be fair to Joey Calistri, if he gets just a bit more air underneath this, the goalkeeper is way off his line. Recognized that Cardoni was trying to have a conversation to set up a wall in front of him. Phoenix played quick.
John trying to get it back for Aguinaga. Go all the way negative for Cardoni, who just lashes it away. Wheeling up for the header, and it's going to be offside on Lopez. The tempo already seems a lot better from Phoenix, and I'm sure that that was the message from Rick Johnson at halftime.
If you're San Antonio, you have to be real careful, because as impressive that they were in the first half, Phoenix Rising, Reno, also Fresno, 3 of the best in the entire USL Championship of making changes at halftime and then moving the tactics in a positive manner in the second half. What worked in the opening 45 minutes is not necessarily going to take the same shape in the second half.
And what a surprise that the 3 teams that you named are the 3 teams that more or less have their position in the top 3 in the Western Conference shored up. Lambert called for the foul. He's been off probably even more so than Solomon Asante tonight.
You have to wonder if he's starting to let the frustration from the referee get to him, or if he just feels like he actually pulled out of this tackle a little bit. Don't necessarily see a follow through on that and making contact with the player. There's another one where the referee's view is obstructed. Moises Hernandez did a good job in the middle of the field. Both he and Michael Lahoud have been trading places there next to Pekka.
Sonic's new Red Bull Slush was a no-brainer. Slushes are a crowd favorite. Red Bull is a crowd favorite. Hurry into Sonic for your new favorite drink. Lambert spins out of trouble. Aguinaga feels the pressure nicely from Gomez. Whelan stepping forward. Ledbetter takes his spot. This is what we're used to seeing from Phoenix. Clear cut possession. Not being too angsty and trying to get forward. Taking their moments and gifted the opportunity. Dia. Sliding challenge from Pekka, but stays with the Frenchman. Dia trying to slide one through for Kalistri. Not a bad idea whatsoever, but Kai Green sharp to it and clears it away. But straight to Lubin. Good initiative though from Dia. Aguinaga couldn't get out of trouble. Gomez, strange touchback for Ebia Khan. He gets away from John. Comes off the referee though. Whelan stepping through, a good challenge. How good has he been tonight? Cochran, great distribution for Aguinaga. Numbers forward for Phoenix. Asante. Ball in, Lambert trying to take it, shouts for a handball, and it's gonna come away as a free kick for San Antonio. It looked like it did pop up on Lambert. And there you go, there's your definition of what's a natural position. The only place for Lambert's arm is to be up in the air.
Just turning his body on his left-hand side as he comes across for a volley, actually gets a shove in the back, and it deflects off his right arm. Then comes back out. San Antonio FC had already cleared it off their line. That's frustrating once again for Kevin Lambert in the second half here. He has started to play a much higher line moving forward, and I'd like to see some more distribution coming out of James Musa. That's the area where they're lacking the most right now. That's not a knock on him, but he is asking for the ball. They're just not picking him out.
What was the call from the referee there?
Pretty sure the ball was moving the first time that they hit it.
But he was pointing,
still moving. I didn't notice anything else.
He was making a gesture for the box as if the ball. I don't even know what he was gesturing for.
We've now experienced a brief moment in my life of what that was like. I mean, you need a translator at certain points in time. I mean, for me, literally, because it was a different country,
yeah.
But you get where I'm coming from.
Yes, I do. Pekka's pass takes a deflection. Cochran racing to try to keep it in play. That's a neat little touch from Lambert, I'll tell you what. Standing at about 6'4", 6'5", he's got some of the softest feet in the USL Championship. Good build up here from San Antonio. Pirano getting involved. Out wide for Walter Restrepo. Takes one in towards the back post. Whelan is there. Or rather, that's Austin Ledbetter. Nods it over the bar, and a corner kick coming up for San Antonio.
This is really similar to one of the buildups we showed you in the open, where they get numbers out in front and quick decision down into the channel. It's always going to be a long ball to the back. They don't have a lot of height when they get going downhill. They're hoping the trailing run by Walter Restrepo on the back post could give them some help in that area. Most of these boys going forward, standing right around 5'6" to 5'10". You're up against the likes of Corey Whelan and AJ Cochran. It's going to take something special.
Awkward here, and it's just off the side netting. There were shouts for offside.
This is one of the big bodies you're going for, Evia Khan. Bombi very dangerous in his actions, and no, definitely not. Kevin Lambert sitting in the middle of the field. It's a quick little turnaround, and well done by the outside back to just maintain his shape on the far post, allow the second chance opportunity to develop.
Foul called against Green. He's claiming he went up for it and John didn't, but John was entitled to his ground there.
If you're Phoenix, play quick here. If you can, Look at the shape of San Antonio FC all over the place right now. You start to turn up the tempo a little bit, see if you can run those legs into the ground. Sometimes that war of attrition really starts to take shape here in the second half.
Musa, great ball in for Calistri. Still with it. Peck up. Asante, oh no! Here he goes! Early delivery, too close to Yaro.
That's where you want to see a switch. You want to see the outside run darting to the near post, and Adam John can drift all the way to the back post. It confuses the defensive unit, and then you can go the aerial route. You can put the ball up in the air and allow Adam John to go after the back line.
Whelan doing his best on Lopez, gets a touch to it. Pirano. Go ball out wide for Restrepo. Dia defending. Gomez. Gomez stays with it. Pirano now wants to get on that left foot. Always leaning back. Phoenix have done a good job of keeping him in check, but as a result, there have been some other players that have found a lot of time and space for Restrepo, Gomez, Lopez, even Jack Barmby at times. John, good hold-up play. Aguinaga. San Antonio down a man for the moment. Yaro down. Calistri lays it off for Aguinaga. Trying to get on his left foot. Good defending from Kai Green. Never going to get that call. Shoulder to shoulder for the New Jersey native.
This will never, ever be blown a foul. Kai Green, through all of his time, whether it was the looks he was getting with the Houston Dynamo or his time with RGV, yeah, I get it, there's an overextension of the arm. But at no point in time in that situation was it ever going to be a foul. A bit of extracurriculars.
Corey Whelan getting involved. Darren Powell trying to play peacekeeper here. Amadou Dia getting a little bit hot. Joey Calistri trying to restore order along with Darren Powell. And San Antonio's frustrated because it looked like Josh Yaro had a little bit of blood coming from his mouth. And San Antonio really upset that there wasn't a foul called on that initial play that led to the Phoenix chance and the eventual no call. Rosendo Mendoza has a lot to sort out here.
Both the captains having a conversation with the referee. He's going to take his time, talk to the fourth official, to his linesman as well. Let's go back to where this all started. Restrepo and Amadou Dia having a conversation. Lambert starts to get involved, and it's just the overextension of the arms, words flying back and forth. Pekka comes sprinting all the way over. Then Moises Hernandez, he's the one who really started to get the things flowing. And still, even after the separation, number 2, Hernandez and Pekka heating things up. Both Pekka and Asante now starting to cool it off just a bit. Hitting the 30-minute mark. Just wondering as to exactly which direction this is going to go for the referee. He'll get a word with both managers and let them know what the decision will be going forward.
And it is time for the Sonic Happy Hour, but happy hasn't been exactly one emotion that's been going through the players at the moment. Brought to you by Sonic and your new favorite drink, the Red Bull Slush. If a rising player scores during the 60th minute, which obviously won't happen now, one lucky fan will win a $500 Sonic gift card. For more info, visit phxrisingfc.com/Sonic.
I feel like with circumstances out of our control, we should have the ability to extend Sonic's happy hour now.
To win this madness is
started from the minute after.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would love to, but you can talk to the people at Sonic.
They stopped returning my calls months ago.
Did they?
Well, I started lobbying for when somebody actually won. I felt like because of the fact that we had direct involvement setting it up, we deserved the card just like everybody else. Not for my own personal satisfaction. I just wanted to be able to give back to the fans. It's people helping people.
Yes.
That didn't go as planned, though.
Okay. I didn't think it would.
Worth a shot.
So after all of that, what was about 2 to 3 minutes of extracurricular activities, looks like no cards were dished out. Rosendo Mendoza says, let's play on, and play on we will.
Watch for the next 60 to 90
yep,
seconds.
I was just about to say,
tackle in.
Big ball over for Restrepo. Good first touch for Christian Pirano. Gomez didn't know exactly where Frank Lopez was. Calistri helps it away. John battling with Yarrow. Whelan reads the play beautifully again. Khan has it taken away. Lambert. And gets it away for Dia, who's making an overlapping run. Amadou Dia, Calistri to his left. Dia looking in for Solo. But it was going to have to get through 2 different lines of San Antonio defense. Lambert gets stuck in, and it'll fall for Musa. Dia for Aguinaga. Calistri. Dia still with it. You can tell it's starting to get a little bit more tense here. Jose Aguinaga was barking at Calistri to make some sort of run there, but the line was being held by San Antonio. Referee says play on. Pirano will keep it in play. Aguinaga made quick work of by Pirano. Here's the Argentinian again. Tries to put it across. Blocked by A.J. Cochran, and a corner kick coming up for Phoenix. And for persistent infringement, Jose Aguinaga is going to get a card here.
Soprano's first step is otherworldly. First around A.J. Cochran, then watch this little move down into the corner. Aguinaga being rewarded for his efforts with the yellow. The one-on-one battle, very difficult. Pirano starting to really feel himself here in the second half. 25 minutes to go.
Restrepo on the corner. 25 minutes remaining.
Quite interesting from dead ball situations with Barmby's great left foot. Hasn't hit a single corner. Everything has been from a dead ball. Everything has been Restrepo. Barmby's been, when you actually blow a foul and you've had it down in the channel, he's hit all of those, but no in-swinging left footers.
Good header of the ball. Want him in the mix.
Of course, you saw what he's able to do right at the top of the 18. Great ball striker.
Calistri Asante wins it right back, skips away for the defender. Asante goes for goal, and it's just wide. Certainly had Matt Cardone thinking about it.
Saying to the referee, keep an eye on me. In good faith just moments ago, you and I had a great conversation about settling the boys down. Now take care of me when I start to get going forward. Gets around Ebia Khan. He's not far off. He's got a little tug on the back shoulder. Not necessarily sure that that's going to be enough to pull the trigger by the referee. Momentum definitely in favor of the home squad right now.
Here comes Barmby. Cleared away by Whelan, but it will stay with San Antonio, and it stays in play. Early delivery, good ball in, and Lopez was there. What a ball in from Jack Barmby. And that's the case you can make for why he should be on corners.
Quick little look up 30 yards away. Puts this on a platter for Frank Lopez. To be honest, should have done much better. Perfectly placed. Amadou Dia can't get goal side. And interesting, the defensive shape right now. Adam John dropping even further back than we normally seen him. Salman Asante, Phoenix Rising electing to keep him much higher, hoping that that counter-attacking option is going to be space out in front to push the Ghanaian with some pace.
Cochran gives it away. Well read by Barmby. Asante, how good is that touch? John back for the Ghanaian, puts it back across looking for Aginaga, but Kai Green was there. And we're hearing that Jason Johnson is going to make an appearance. Here's John on the turn, tries to slot it through. Trouble here for Yarrow, somehow got a touch to it. It'll run out of play, and a corner kick coming up for Phoenix. Kevin Lambert is down. Or it looks like he's just tying his shoe. And the fans seeing that JJ, or they go quickly, Amadou Dia going for the curler. And a la Liverpool, Phoenix were trying to catch San Antonio FC off guard and sleeping. Josh Yarrow, who's already a couple of times gone down tonight, will require more medical attention. And Jason Johnson, the Jamaican who suffered an injury months ago at Sacramento Republic, is going to make his first appearance since the spring. And he will replace Joey Calistri. I don't think it's difficult to tell by that reception that Jason Johnson is very much a crowd favorite. His first appearance since April 28th. Does have 3 goals on the season, scored 1 against Tacoma, New Mexico, and of course had the late equalizer against San Antonio. And you just have the feeling that maybe, just maybe, this could be JJ's marquee moment in this unprecedented winning streak. Obviously going to be rusty. Match fitness is a question. And you and I were told weeks ago that he was most likely going to get a run with FC Tucson. But given the fact that Junior Flemings is away on international duty, other injuries around the club, it just seems like a good moment to give JJ 20 minutes to run around and see if JJ can do what he does best.
They need to do something to try and find some balance as well. Joey Calistri's line was very deep, having to account for the ever-changing shape of Walter Restrepo and Brian Gomez, who are flip-flopping sides right now. Of course, Frank Lopez isolated up top. And now you get an opportunity, kind of what we talked about with Solomon Asante in the first half, where you have to be a bit more receptive to your actions going forward if you're San Antonio FC. Currently right now, Walter Restrepo on the right-hand side, he's gonna have to do battle against Jason Johnson, and every single time he starts to push higher and go forward, that gives them an opportunity to get him behind with Jason Johnson, and Restrepo's gonna have to drop back more. That's when you can get Amadou Dia in those overlapping runs going forward.
Already renewed life for Phoenix. Here's Ledbetter. Musa. Thought about the switch for Dia. Sante looking for Aginaga. Yaro will turn back and go negative for Cardoni. And Whelan had to make a decision there. It'll stay in play though. Sante taken down from behind. Whelan. Bit too direct. Devin, you obviously have suffered through a lot of injuries. What's going through your mind after missing so much time and obviously just wanting to get back out onto the field, coming out as a substitute, which is always difficult, but coming out as a substitute after not having played in a competitive match for 5 some odd months?
Don't hurt me. Nah, you're going to have a bit of doubt in your mind, but as soon as you go into your first tackle, there's the first nudge, you'll recognize that your body and all the training it's been through is back to normal and instills more confidence in you, and that's really when you hit the ground running. They're going to look to try and find Jason Johnson early on here to instill some of that confidence in him going forward.
Well, they send him on his way here through Amadou Dia, putting it just at least a little bit of pressure on Kai Green. Look for the long throw in from Amadou Dia. Can always be a weapon. He'll go short though. Lambert squeezing his way through, but gets stood up. Pekka with a good challenge. Barmby. Big switch over. 3-on-2 for San Antonio if they hurry here. Brian Gomez leading the charge. Whelan defending. Gomez trying to get to the outside. Whelan gets a touch. Gomez ended up trying to serve it across, but it goes out for a goal kick.
Phoenix get a little lucky here as Brian Gomez on the far side. He actually had Walter Restrepo, who had gotten in behind Amadou Dia, but much like we've seen out of the decision-making from Phoenix Rising, could not make that quick enough. Just over 15 minutes to go. Both of these squads still have life in them.
Getting word that tonight's attendance here at Casino Arizona Field is a 16th consecutive sellout. 6,466 on hand as Christian Pirano was able to get by James Musa, and then he gets called for the foul and gets booked. That's his first foul of the night, but goes in to Rosendo Mendoza's book and it's shown mustard here in the 75th.
This is an angles game right now where this ball gets knocked back across. Watch Pirano. Well done on hold-up play against Amadou Dia, and just trying to find that space that we talked about. So much agility on full display for the young Argentinian, a guy who will take on any single challenge possible when necessary and if asked upon. And with the ridiculous left foot by Jack Barmby, a brilliant opportunity right around around the 25-yard mark, off center here a little bit, and you start to hit this gray area. But based upon the fact that they've only brought Ebiakana up from the back line, you would imagine it would be much of the same of what you saw in the first half, where he went quite direct after Zach Lubin. That caught a deflection, went up over the top of the bar. But it does become the guessing game. They've gone distribution. They've let him go almost immediately at Zach Lubin with a bit of swerve on it. Now you just wonder, will they get any more craft-like and try and play a little two-man game, run someone down into the corner and play a ball back across, or elect to have him hit it again?
Barmby takes a deflection, and Lubin keeps it in play. And they'll want to go quickly until Zach pumps the brakes. Aguinaga gets the call. Usually you don't get the first one. It's always the retaliation that the referee sees. Aguinaga out wide for Dia. In for Jason Johnson. Gets it on his left peg. And the ball's going to stay in play unless Lambert won't be able to get there, and it ends up being the case. But Jason Johnson with his first real look, and it wasn't a bad one, but you obviously could tell he was a little excited.
He knows that this is a difficult one, that big left foot of his. Quick little touch, and then to bring it all the way back across the body. Your momentum's always dragging you to your right. It's going to take something special. That's Jack Barmby.
Lambert gets to the outside, trying to stand one up. Aguinaga was arriving late. Here's Musa, lays it off for JJ. Now he tries to curl one in. Diaz steps forward, gets it over for the Jamaican. Keeps it in play. Growing with confidence is JJ. Musa. Now sprays it back out wide. And the offside flag is up. Save thousands of dollars when you buy or sell your home. Homie gives you the support to buy or sell your home without charging the 6% commissions. It's a flat $1,500 to your home, no matter what the price of the home is. Go to homie.com to learn more. Aguinaga again getting pulled from behind. And Jose Aguinaga is claiming that if you gave me a yellow card for persistent infringement, why isn't the same being issued to Pekka? And it looks like it will just be a talking to.
San Antonio have to be really careful here. They had a stranglehold on the middle of the field in the first half. That is not the case anymore. Said we wanted to see James Musa on the ball. You're seeing that over the past 10 minutes. And that is a nasty challenge down in the corner.
And that was just a few moments ago after Pekka got warned. He's going to get a card. Crowd not happy with Pekka. He is public enemy #1 at the moment. Amadou Diaz slow to get to his feet. Rosendo Mendoza awaiting to get Pekka his special little mustard-flavored present.
Just a moment ago, Pekka got himself in trouble. Much better look. Amadou Diaz, I'll tell you what, second look. Yeah, he gets his foot first. Amadou Diaz gets a touch on the ball. From the initial angle, it looks like Pekka had a case in his argument. Not whatsoever. Referee makes the correct decision. Tight angle here for Rising. way for this to come to him. James Musa lurking just outside of the top of the 18. And well done by Christian Pirano to recognize the threat, although now they're going to push it to a two-man wall. Is there any run on the near post coming?
Sante all the way towards the back post. Whelan can't keep it in play. And a bit of a wasted opportunity there for Phoenix. Get your tickets now for the Rising's next home match on Saturday, September 14th against LA Galaxy 2. Visit phxrisingfc.com for ticket info. JJ did well. Here's Aguinaga working on Moises Hernandez. Good double team for Brian Gomez, and ends up being a San Antonio throw-in. And Corey Whelan's going to get called for the foul there. Space for Lopez, Whelan tracking. Pirano, great matchup here with Lambert. Two of the best and the brightest in the USL Championship. Pirano sends it across, handled by Ledbetter. Moises Hernandez. Diaz clearance straight to the feet of Jason Johnson. Slow there from Cochran. Lambert trying to get out of trouble, and that's another foul from Pekka. And again, a little bit of a coming to. Moises Hernandez right in the middle of it. Adam John not helping anybody. James Musa trying to get Moises Hernandez even more riled up. Musa always loves these types of situations. Well, looks like it is a yellow card for Moises Hernandez for inciting a riot.
It should be as well. He was the one who was the main culprit last time we had this go around. And I get it, Pekka knows what he's doing. He puts his arm up and he gets it. He's a foul, he starts to move on. A bit of gamesmanship. There's no reason for Hernandez to come all the way over right now. Adam John just trying to get the ball to play quickly. And credit to Pekka, he does get out in front of it, pulls his boys back.
So a couple yellow cards issued to San Antonio. Pekka and Hernandez. Ebia Khan goes down, John, and he missed it. There was no foul called. Solomon Asante again is barking for a handball. There's got to be a plethora of stoppage time at the end of the second half here. About 6 minutes remaining though.
Whether it comes off someone's arm or not, you still got to put this on frame. How about the hold-up play once again by Adam John? I don't see a handball there at all. Not exactly sure what the argument from Solomon Asante is coming from, and Adam John asking for the same thing. You have to wonder what they saw from ground zero. The law of averages starting to play out here with Ebia Khan, Kai Green, and Josh Yara on that back line. So much to account for. They have put in 85 minutes of intense running, but it's starting to pay off for Rising. Notice all the space opening up top.
Lambert trying to desperately win it back, but somehow San Antonio come away with it. And they're looking to go quickly the other end. Not a bad ball for Frank Lopez. He's in 1v1, but a big save from Zach Lubin. That is absolutely massive. And goes quickly the other way for Jason Johnson. Header won by Adam John. End-to-end stuff here at Phoenix.
Just when you think you haven't seen a better display of one-on-one defending all night long by Corey Whelan, he gets beat by Frank Lopez up top, and Zach Lubin hasn't had much to do in the second half. Does really well coming off his line to bail his boys out.
JJ finding Musa. The crowd desperately trying to will their side to an 18th consecutive win. Ledbetter in for Asante. He feels like he got fouled. The referee blows his whistle, and now a dangerous set piece coming up for Phoenix Rising here in the 86th.
Here's the issue you're going to run into. 86th minute. Tempers flying. Emotions are high for everyone. Phoenix Rising had an issue earlier this year. What the pecking order was when it came to set pieces. Didier Drogba obviously no longer on the field to jump up and hit these. Jason Johnson was involved, Solomon Asante, even Amadou Dia from time to time. And look at Jason Johnson just lurking on the background. This suits up really well for a left footer.
And it's funny you say that, because the question was who's going to be the main set piece taker. And Jason Johnson, until he got injured, he was making the claim for it.
He stepped off here though. You've got James Musa and Solomon Asante, and how about Frank Lopez on the inner ear of the Ghanaian. He'll be looking at the near post. So many bodies in front of him. Can he pick it out?
It's Asante, and it's off the post and in! Solomon Asante to the rescue for Phoenix! It just keeps getting better and better!
We said tactically things were going to change in the second half. That it's always about the counterpunch, chestnut checkers. Same goes for set pieces. The wall is put up perfectly by Cardoni. He's allowing for everything on his left-hand side to be covered. But he second-guesses himself. He shifts to his left initially and then has to come back to his right. This ball is only going in one spot. If it moves a millimeter to the left, instead it tucks itself into bed inside the post. And just after the 85th minute, Solomon Asante puts away his 21st goal on the year.
Ever Guzman getting set to come in for San Antonio. But with MVP voting just starting to trickle in on social media, it's difficult to think that there's any man who can even come close to competing with Solomon Asante at this moment. As Guzman comes on and replaces Moises Hernandez, who is more than frustrated and comes off to an absolute orchestra of boos here at Casino Arizona Field. One last roll of the dice for San Antonio. But Devin, as we already talked about, there's got to be at least 5 minutes of stoppage time.
You have to remember, for San Antonio as well, everything you have talked about for Phoenix Rising, they have a target on their back. They're going after them. It has become much more than that. San Antonio are fighting for their playoff lives. With just moments to go, Darren Powell has pulled off a defensive-minded player. Pekka will now sit deeper. He'll push two in front of him. Ever Guzman will play up top next to Frank Lopez.
Well, it is incredible, the stark differences in the storylines. Phoenix trying to pad the longest winning streak in American soccer history. San Antonio trying to avoid for a second straight season missing out on the postseason. Aguinaga on the turn. Stays on his feet, finds Asante. Dumps it over the top, hoping that JJ will be able to run onto it. He's encouraging the pressure. JJ. And Ben Spencer waiting to come on as JJ and Ebby O'Connor going at it, or rather Kai Green. Ben Spencer has made a handful of substitution appearances for Phoenix. Coming on here in the 90th. And he'll replace Jose Aguinaga, who had to play a couple of different roles tonight with John Baquero leaving the field early.
Some gamesmanship by Rick Shantz down the stretch, trying to kill off some of the clock. And with Ben Spencer coming in, some fresh legs, he knows that there's going to be a boatload of running to do in the next 5 minutes that he's going to have to put in. Rick Shantz appreciative of the efforts put forth by the Spaniard, but still work to be done.
And we're hearing 6 minutes of stoppage time. Musa curling one in. Spencer, his first touch of the night, almost a golden one.
If you're San Antonio and you want to have a chance to go after this, stick to what you've been best at. Put the ball on the ground, knock it around with each other. Pekka, the lone soldier in the middle of the field right now, he no longer has Moises Hernandez to help get this attack started going forward. You have to be quicker in your decision-making going forward now that you've pushed so many numbers up high.
Ryan Gomez keeps moving the ball further and further up and trying to push Lambert further and further away from the ball. Now it's Barbie. Step from Adam John. No whistle. Lambert launches it on the other end. It's a great ball for his compatriot and Jason Johnson. Trying to work on Kai Green, and those two have been barking at each other ever since JJ's come onto the field. If there wasn't a rivalry brewing between these two sides before tonight, think otherwise. Pekka. Walter Restrepo now. Big diagonal ball. Ledbetter lining it up and heads it away. Could he have gone to Lubin there?
I'd like a shout here from the goalkeeper. A bit more discipline, and Ledbetter does the right thing because he's not sure as to whether or not the overlapping run is coming from Ever Guzman. Zach Lubin didn't want it to come his way. Sometimes just better to go safe than sorry. Push it over the end line and then reset yourself.
4 minutes remaining in the stoppage time here in the second half. Free header for Kai Green, and it's off the crossbar and out of play. Boy, that was mighty close. Probably the best delivery on a corner we've seen tonight from San Antonio. Spencer felt like he was held, but it'll bounce all the way through for Jason Johnson. Now the double team arrives, and Pekka is going to end up winning the free kick as Jason Johnson stuck out a leg. He didn't know that Pekka was on his way. Amadou Dia comes in, and he's going to get booked for that, but it'll knock a little bit more time off the clock. But that's the smart move from Pekka. The referee always has to bring out the card if you are going to knock it off of the player who's blocking the free kick. Ever Guzman knocks it across. AJ Cochran with a cool head. Clears it away, but only as far as Pirano. What does the Argentinian have in store? Great little ball in for Frank Lopez on the turn. Bottled up by 3 different red jerseys. Now trying to put it on frame. Takes a deflection, and Amadou Dia nods it away, but only as far as Gomez. Johnson, careful not to foul. Pirano dumps it in towards the back post. It's a great ball. The header snapped across, but it goes out of play. And coming up next on your Phoenix CW, it's 2.5 men. Allen forms a platonic relationship with Jake's teacher as he enjoys the intelligent conversation they share. Plus, Charlie helps Jake rehearse for his school play. That's up next on your Phoenix CW.
Mr. Pirano remains to be a thorn in the side of Phoenix Rising, especially here in the second half, starting to find a lot of space. Beautiful ball to the back post. Got to do better with that. To Restrepo, Brian Gomez, not been nearly as impressive as their striking partner up top in Frank Lopez.
Diaz got to be careful here, especially considering he just got booked. Aaron Powell waving his arms furiously in the technical area, trying to get everybody forward here so that Matt Cardone can take it, and they can put Phoenix under an immense amount of pressure in the final moments. But Cardone will go short. Brian Gomez now. He lost it in. Lopez, an awkward touch, and Lambert muscles it away.
Rising have to be really careful. This is almost how the exact match played out when they were on the road first match of the year against San Antonio. San Antonio out in front, trying to absorb wave after wave of attack. Jason Johnson was the equalizer then. They got to find a way to relieve some of this pressure.
Well, they give it away. Musa, a poor touch. Is it going to be a touch that they eventually rue? Ledbetter chasing after it. Encouraging play here from San Antonio, but Austin Ledbetter, excellent 1v1 defending again. Ben Spencer, solid hold-up play, being poked at from behind by Ebia Khan. Spencer still with it, does well to find Adam John. All the way over for Jason Johnson. About 30 seconds remaining now. JJ. Oh, what a ball that is. Flag stays down, but Ben Spencer couldn't make the most of it. Cochran clears it away. The fan being told to keep the ball, but the ball boy gets it back in for Guzman. Gomez working on Musa. In for Guzman again. Deflected away. Gomez still with it. John making sure not to foul. Cochran steps through, clears it away. Full time. 18 and counting. They're running circles around the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Solomon Asante, a free kick game winner in the final moments. And they take down the side that they drew on the first game of the season back on March 9th. Unbelievable scenes in the Valley of the Sun. Zach Lubin, his 13th clean sheet, sets the club record. The longest winning streak in United States soccer history continues because that man has ice in his veins. It was always going to be a dogfight against a side that's desperate to keep their heads above water in the Western Conference playoff race. But Phoenix emerges top dogs once again. And Solomon Asante, of course, is your Mobile Mini man of the match. And with all the questions circling set pieces, with John Baccaro coming off the field injured, with a physical battle that you simply thought to yourself, well, maybe this is the one. They just always seem to find a way. Solomon Asante, the captain, the main man once again, the Mobile Mini man of the match. Goal number 21 on the season, 4 off the pace of Cameron Lancaster's record-setting year from a year ago. A gutsy 1-0 win here at Casino, Arizona. We'll step aside, take a deep breath. We'll be back with highlights and stats.
At Arizona Federal, our passion is to help out the community where you live and work, because where you bank should make you feel good. Show your support for the home team with the Phoenix Rising Visa debit card. When you open a new account, you can score $100 just for using your card when you shop. How's that for an easy goal? Be a part of our commitment to the community. Arizona Federal Credit Union.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a few years old or dinosaur old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Another game in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Another Phoenix Rising Football Club win. 18 wins in a row. Every single week they find a different way to stun you, to capture your heart, and to make your heart stop all in one. Solomon Asante, the main man once again, but Zach Lubin had a night to remember as well. And he, of course, is going to feature in our Whataburger What a Save of the match. And boy, how this storyline could have been mighty different if Zach Lubin were not to have made this massive save on Frank Lopez moments before Solomon Asante scored the game-winning goal.
5 goals in 8 appearances for Darren Powell's squad since coming over on loan, and you just felt like this was the moment where the entire streak was going to end. That wasn't the case. Zach Lubin was not willing to put all of their hard work behind them. Corey Whelan gets beat, but Lubin did a good job coming off his line. Just a beautiful save, start to finish. And, you know, the question was going to be, what was this going to look like? Coming into this year, Phoenix Rising organization told us that they felt like one of the biggest competitors they were going to have was San Antonio FC. The stage was set earlier on this year in that first match that turned out into a draw. And in the opening 45 minutes, you felt like that's how it was going to end. Like it was going to come full circle. But guess what? Solomon Asante, everybody else going forward, I said they needed to find a way to get a grasp on the middle of the field. Many an opportunity started to open up because of just that.
Well, Adam John had this opportunity just a few minutes before Solomon Asante would convert on what was a magical free kick, and here it is. And it initially looked like it might come out, but just unbelievable. The smallest man on the field with the most amount of guts, the most amount of heart, and just finds a way. The scenes say it all. And we'll take a look at the standings in the Western Conference as we head into week number 28. Phoenix Rising FC, 65 points off 20 wins. They are now 15 points clear of Fresno. First place is all but done and dusted, a home playoff spot to boot. And they are just cruising as the West is going to run through Phoenix come playoff time. And eventually the USL Championship final will run through Phoenix once we get to that point. And a look at the upcoming schedule for Phoenix. You go to Las Vegas in the midweek, then you're home against LA Galaxy 2. Two teams that are not in the playoff picture at the moment. But Devin, you think that this is an interesting one in Sin City?
Especially the way that tonight played out. You know, they were 0-0 at halftime. You had the cast drop, a lot going for them. And that got pushed to the side. El Paso Locomotive get 3 goals in the second half. They are now back in playoff contention. Las Vegas Lights are quickly fading out of that result. And they have an opportunity to stay relevant. The problem is they have to do it fast. This is going to be a must-win game and throw everything at Phoenix Rising. So that's not anything different than Phoenix Rising experience over the past month to 6 weeks. Everybody gives them their best game every time out.
That 3-game road swing is certainly going to be daunting, but at the moment, Phoenix are just going to enjoy the moment. It didn't come without worry, without temper, without emotion, and of course with a little bit of caution from San Antonio, who put up a valiant fight, but somehow Phoenix grind out number 18 in a row. They just may never lose again. For our entire crew, my broadcast partner Devin Kerr, Tyler Terrence saying so long for now. The final score, Phoenix 1, San Antonio 0. 2.5 men up next on your Phoenix CW.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.